Hey you all, welcome back to Learning Together by Grace. I am Rebecca, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about another homeschooling method called unit studies. I'm going to give you an overview, plus the pros and the cons, and my take on it. Are you guys ready? I am. Let's go. So just to give you an overview of what unit studies for, this is actually something that I was able to learn when I was in my teaching program in college. And so a unit study is taking one topic and using it throughout each subject that you are teaching your children. So for instance, if you were doing oceanography, which is something that my family and I focused on in homeschool last year, you would give the science portion behind it, the history portion behind it. You would use math, you would use language arts, you would use even the fine arts to help with teaching about oceanography, which can be pretty interesting. So for example, if you were doing the science portion of oceanography, then you can get into just the animals and like the life cycle of animals. You can also get into like the biodiversity that's within the ocean. Oh my gosh, you can get into the gases that are in the ocean. You can, there's so much that you can get into when it comes to the science portion of oceanography. And then if you want to incorporate history, the way that you can do that is, well, let's look at the bordering continents or countries around this particular ocean, say the Atlantic Ocean. How do these countries utilize the Atlantic Ocean to help with their economy? So that could be a way of bridging the historical portion of oceanography into the unit study. That's just one example. And then if you want to get into math, you can look at using distance, like measuring distance from this ocean to that ocean. You can also use the lines of latitude and longitude to help you with measurement. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that you can incorporate math with that topic of unit study. And also with language arts, now that's really easy because there are all kinds of books that you can read that are talking about the different oceans, that are talking about the issues that arise in the oceans, that's talking about the bordering countries and continents around the oceans. And so you have the reading aspect, and then you can just assign some type of written assignments to help your children with their writing and getting their parts of speech and your vocabulary. It would line up with oceanography. So that is something that's pretty neat. And then with the fine arts, such as art, you can do a lot of artwork pertaining to the ocean. You can have your children draw a dolphin. You can have them paint the ocean waves or anything like that. And then also just give details as of why, the ocean looks like this, or does, basically do an ocean study, like a visual study of the ocean. Those are some ways that a unit study can work. And with a unit study, you can do maybe a unit a month, or you can just do a unit for the entire year for your homeschool program. So just depending on how you as a family want to dive in. If you want to go extremely deep per unit, then hey, the whole year. Or if you want to just kind of glaze over it and get a general understanding of a topic, then a month long could be sufficient for you and your family. Now, the pros to it is that, well, you are literally being able to focus on one topic and gear your entire homeschool program about that. You can also utilize your children's interest to learn more about a certain topic. So if your children like birds, you can do a whole unit study on birds and be able to incorporate the different subjects into that particular topic. And now the cons to that, I would have to say, would be having to do extensive planning, being able to find the vocabulary, being able to find the history, being able to find the science, and weaving in the language arts and the fine arts into your unit studies. It can be a lot of work in order to do that. I can attest to that because last year we focused on oceanography, and let me tell you, it was a lot of work that I had to put into doing that unit study for my children. It was fun, and we learned so much. Like, there were things that I just did not know about oceanography or the oceans or even the bordering countries and things of that nature that I learned. So you really do get a thorough knowledge about these topics that you are studying. So that is another pro to doing unit studies. Another con is that, well, quite frankly, you can kind of get burnt out learning about the same thing over and over again. So towards the end of our oceanography study, I remember my children were like, okay, Mom, we just keep learning the same thing over and over again. Can we do something else? And so it can kind of, you have to get very creative in order to make it span the entire year. Now, my take on it is that I think unit studies are great. They have a place in homeschool for sure. If you are wanting to really get deep into a topic, this is perfect. I would say even for high schoolers, I think unit studies could be even more beneficial because they can kind of single out what area or field of study they want to go into once they get into college or get into the workforce. So unit studies can be very helpful for that situation. And then also, I feel that unit studies, they help to spark more creativity. And then it helps to get your children involved in their learning and education. So that is all for today with unit studies. Let me know what you think about unit studies. Have you ever done a unit study, or be it from a homeschool parent perspective or in the classroom as a student? Have you ever done unit studies? I'm curious to know. And you guys, we have just one more homeschooling method that I am going to touch upon, and I hope you guys stick around for that last one. And I hope that this exhaustive video list of homeschooling methods is helping you make that decision to homeschool or to not. You know, it's not for everyone. But anyway, hit that like button, subscribe, share, leave a comment below to let me know if there's something else that you would like me to dive in. God bless you. Bye.